Hey, what's up? So, this is one of my absolute favorite topics to talk about. But before we dive in, first things first. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and of course, drop a like on this video. It costs you absolutely nothing. Just a quick click. But it makes a huge difference. It helps me keep making these videos. It helps more people discover this content. And most importantly, it helps me share these insights that could bring serious value to you. So, let's make a deal. Click that button and let's get started. We're talking about how to increase the quality of your product. More specifically, how to improve the quality of your feed. But why does quality even matter? Well, when we think about our operation, we usually evaluate three main things. One of them is capacity. How can we produce faster? For example, if I have an extruder running at 5 tons per hour, how do I push that to 6, maybe even 7? The second thing we think about is how to increase the availability of your production line. Let's say your factory runs 5 days a week, 24 hours a day. The question is, how do you make sure that during that time, your operation runs with as few interruptions as possible? In other words, how do you maximize the effective hours your extruder is actually running? That's the goal. So, how do we reduce downtime? Well, we could talk about maintenance or process optimization, and these are huge factors. But today, I want to focus on the third pillar, and that is quality. So why is quality so important? And honestly, maybe even more important than the other two pillars? Because here's the thing, you can push your production speed as high as possible. You can have your factory running 5 days a week, 24 hours a day without stopping your extruder once. But if your product is out of spec, if it's low quality, none of that matters. That's why quality comes first. It's non-negotiable. Once you have solid quality, then you can start thinking about speed. Then you can work on increasing your production capacity. With quality in check, then it makes sense to optimize your process, reduce downtime, and avoid maintenance issues before they happen. But quality, that's the foundation of everything. So let's talk about how to ensure great product quality. And the best tip I can give you, have a reference. What do I mean by that? Well, the things you've done in the past, they tend to repeat in the present and in the future. Sounds like a deep philosophical quote, right? But here's the practical takeaway. The parameters you used in your last production run, the settings that worked in your previous batches, those should be your reference points for today's production and for every production run moving forward. What you don't want is for your operator to walk up to the extruder every single time and start tweaking settings from scratch, just hoping to find the right ones. Why? Because that leads to trial and error. Now, if your operator is super experienced, maybe they'll get it right quickly. But if they're less experienced, they'll take longer to create more waste and slow down production until they finally get it right. That's why having reference points is key. It keeps everything consistent, minimizes waste, and makes sure you're hitting the right quality standards every time. You can only have solid reference points if you're actually measuring the parameters you're using. That means tracking everything. The amount of steam you're using, the amount of water being added, the exact quantity of oil injected into the extruder. Every single variable in the process. And in an ideal world, you're not just measuring, you're logging everything into graphs, and your automation system is keeping track of it all. But why is this so important? Because this is the only way you'll catch those subtle changes in your process. We've all been there. Everything is running perfectly. The product is coming out great. And then, out of nowhere, something shifts. Suddenly, your product won't run right. You check your settings, everything looks the same, but for some reason, it's just not working. Your operator is staring at the machine, completely lost. Everyone's stressed. No one knows what changed. That's the worst situation to be in. But why does this happen? Because your production isn't standardized, you're not tracking which parameters are changing and which ones are staying stable. You're not monitoring whether you're adding the correct amount of water, whether that water is being added at a steady rate. Or if, at some point in your process, you're experiencing fluctuations that are throwing everything off. And the only way to catch these issues, record everything. Keep historical data. Because when you have solid data, you can investigate problems professionally instead of just guessing what went wrong. No more trial and error, no more stress, just clear insights based on real numbers. So what's the key takeaway for today? You need reference points. You can't just turn on your extruder and hope for the best. Quality doesn't work like that. You need data, you need clear targets, you need quality parameters that tell you whether your product is good or off track. Because when you have those reference points, you can investigate problems, optimize your process, and most importantly, hit start on your extruder and know without a doubt that it's producing high quality feed from the very first second. That means less waste, higher product quality, and a more competitive operation, and that's how you win in this industry. Now, if you want to dive deeper into extrusion strategies and get a complete understanding of the entire process, here's what I've got for you. Check out the description of this video, there's a link there. Click that link and you'll get access to my extrusion course where we cover everything from raw material intake to the final product. In this course, it's built on real-world experience. I've worked in over 20 feed factories across 13 different countries. And everything I've learned, both the best practices and the mistakes to avoid, is packed into this course. We go deep into the theory behind extrusion, but we also cover real troubleshooting strategies so you know exactly how to prevent problems before they even happen. And here's the best part. It's not just a course, it's a full support system. If you ever hit a problem in your factory, just send me an email, tell me what's going on, and I'll personally help you solve it. Because at the end of the day, this is a partnership. I'm here to help you succeed. So before you go, don't forget to hit that notification bell, drop a like on this video, and I'll see you in the next one.